Hello everyone, welcome to the Bonusode, a bonus episode of ListenABLE, which we record when we don't have a guest on, so it's like a small bite-sized package just to get you through the fortnight, you know?
Yeah, and if you're watching this, hello.
G'day.
But also if you are, you can obviously check all this stuff on our socials. We've got it all inclusive and captioned and everything like that. However, that's why I love the bonusodes, because when people subscribe to a podcast, if you only do them every 2 weeks, you're not really getting that, but you automatically get these once you subscribe. So
That's right.
If you want to get them and you like them, make sure you hit subscribe and tell your mates, because we're trying to get, this podcast in as many years as possible.
We also have people who are trying to catch up as well because they don't subscribe. They're like, oh my God, I forgot about ListenABLE for 10 weeks and now I've got to get 10 episodes and I don't want to fall behind. And the bonusodes are usually topical. So hit the subscribe button or the follow button if you're on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you get your notifications. I think there's a little bell emoji so you don't miss out.
I did a talk the other day, a keynote for McDonald's, Macca's, every single owner and manager in Cairns. I'm going to say Brad or Greg or Brett got up in the middle of it and just gave ListenABLE the biggest plug.
Oh.
And he said how important it is to him and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So if I've got Craig, if I've got your name wrong there, brother, but it's you, all right? It's you, and we really appreciate the support.
That's show. Got a different topic this week. And it's going to be a good topic because we've got a guest coming up next on the next Monday that this sort of relates to. That I think this is going to be he's going to be the perfect person to talk about this exact topic with. But let's talk about this broadly between ourselves. The headline is, young people living with disability share experiences and create communities through social media.
Oh, cool. Am I the guest? Social media.
Well, you've built quite a large social media,
I was kidding.
Well, you built a career around, being in a wheelchair, but mostly that's
Good stuff. Won 15 Grand Slams.
yeah.
I love it.
Couldn't do it against Djokovic though.
Yeah, true. I mean, he was in a wheelchair, you're right.
Well, didn't you play him once?
Yeah, it's
was
so
terrible.
hard to push the chair, yeah.
Okay. Logan, I want to say this right, Kelbull, posts dancing videos on TikTok and bold, colourful fashion looks on Instagram, often with the feeding tube on full display. It all started because Logan was frustrated by what he felt were misperceptions about people with disabilities. Quote from Logan. Misconceptions. Oh, yeah. It does say misperceptions, but also misconceptions.
Misperceptions, is that a word?
Yeah.
We love doing this in English.
I know.
Maybe it is.
Well, it was written by a journalist, so we'll stick with misperceptions.
Okay, I like it.
I started the accounts just honestly to make friends because I didn't know anybody that had the disability what I had. Strangers on TikTok and Reddit, though, have since criticised his appearance or accused him of fabricating his illness and using fake stick-on tubes. He said, it's absurd, I just block them and move on. But a growing number of young people are using social media to fight misperceptions. Used again, of disabilities and talk frankly about their mental and physical health. Their use of social media is especially poignant at a time when social media companies are reckoning with backlash from lawmakers, health experts, and even their own users who say the apps on Instagram, like Instagram and TikTok, encourage people to use glossy highlights of their lives, leading to lower self-esteem amongst young users. According to a psychologist who works at the McLean Hospital in Massachusetts, the key to users is avoiding mindlessly scrolling social media and passively consuming content.
Did Meta, by any chance, fund this article?
I actually took out something about Meta because I didn't want to directly say that they were found, well, I'll say it now, but they were found that there was a report going through saying that this could be dangerous to young impressionable children,
we
and
should
they just kind of threw it under the table. But that was more broadly children, not disabilities.
Yeah, and it's all socials as well. So you got to.
Of course,
this is a positive. There's negatives, so you got to talk both sides.
Firstly, what's your experience of sharing your disability to hundreds of thousands of people every day?
Look, it probably, as we spoke about before, it took me 28 years to fully feel worthy because of my disability and love. So it's been a slow burn of how much you put on social media. As I've probably got a bit more in the limelight, I've done less and less just because I want my own personal life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think if it was around, like when I was younger and I was doing it,
That's a good point.
I would have actually struggled because I got bullied at school. And if I was then getting bullied at social media, I don't know if I would have made it, right?
Yeah.
I definitely would have been like, hey, this is me how I get dressed, like at that time. But I think Instagram wasn't really as much. TikTok has been really cool, the way that you can create content and look at us talking about TikTok.
I know.
We love TikTok these days. The way that you can create content in a way that is like really authentic but cool. I think that's why it is a lot of disability influencers. They're making the disability cool, right? And I think that's something that I have been able to do accidentally is like, it's like it can be cool to have a disability, and I know our next guest is coming up next week. We're not going to ruin it. He's done that himself, and he's got almost 1 million on TikTok and stuff like that. But yeah, I've definitely leveraged it. Like one thing that I first did was like showed how I go to the gym. I didn't mean I was an athlete. I didn't do it like, hey, Jim Dillon, like to go viral. I was like, but people were like, whoa, show me more of that. Because I haven't seen it before.
You'll love this. I actually wrote this down so you know that I'm not making it up. But I did write here that I think you accidentally normalize your disability because you post up photos of you having a beer with Tony. Yeah. Tony, or you'll go to a music festival and you'll be there behind the decks, or you'll go on a flight and just be like, can't wait to come to you, Sydney. But by doing that and not necessarily showing the process, you're just saying, oh, look,
this is what I do.
Exactly.
You know what? I was an accidental disabled influencer when I crowd surfed.
Ah, that's right.
But I just put up because it's cool. I wasn't like, hey, this is my disability advocacy. But I've always been like that. Like, I don't think of myself as a role model or an advocate. I just think of myself as me. If that is a byproduct, amazing. But I don't go out there going, how can I advocate to show how I get in a car today? It's just not my vibe. But there's plenty of people doing that right now and they're killing it.
Yeah. I do wonder, and we're going to have a guest on, we'll say next week, Jimmy Jan. We've ruined it. Yeah. Jimmy Jan's going to be on next Monday.
Loves a long black coffee, I've heard.
Well, we've had to order him one. Isn't that rude? He texted me this morning, not even good morning, just said, are you organising my coffee?
He said, I will not come unless I get a long black. No, he's a beautiful man.
He kind of said that. Yeah. I think he was promised by our producer, Amelia, that would be the case.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to have this kind of topic again in a more specific focus on him, because he's, I don't want to say he's new to the disability world, right? I think it was August 2021, so he's just gone past a year of being paraplegic.
Can I just say I've learned an absolute sweet load of stuff from advocates with disability, of other disabilities.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff, like we've had guests on this who have had Tourette's or how they, like I've learned a lot from social media from other disabilities as well. Doing a really good thing to any person with disability listening who wants to get in the space. It's awesome, but get ready.
Yeah.
There are some serious weapons out there who are going to say some mean things to you. And if you're not comfortable with that, be careful putting your toe in, dip into the water, because you can get a fair bit of blowback back as well. And that's just from idiot trolls. But you read it and it hurts.
And I think a good episode to go back on would be one of our earliest episodes, Cherie Louise. She's an amputee with one leg, but she posts up photos of herself in whatever outfits that she wants to post up, and therefore she went viral for being trolled when she was writing a funny comment back on Twitter about her disability. So, yeah, I think that might be a good episode to go back and listen. We'll put it in the show links below so it's easy for you to click it. If you are thinking about, I want to start an account, but I want to know what I'm getting myself in for, obviously, what would you say? And you're such a heightened version of it. Percentage of positive versus negative. What do you think that percentage is?
Way more positive, for sure. But you don't remember the positive ones.
Yeah.
The negative ones. I don't anymore, but I did when I first started. So, just careful. And if it's not affecting your mental health, don't do it.
Yeah. Turn the comments off maybe at the start,
No, No,
but then you're also limiting yourself. I take that back.
No. But if they're good, keep going. But just get ready. And if they are, don't just keep forcing it for the sake of it. It affects your mental health. But don't get scared. Social media's been a game changer for me and for Jimmy and a lot of people, because we have our own voice. We don't get spoken on behalf of on the news where it's like this sob story. It's like, no, get stuff. This is me. This is what I'm doing. So power to everybody having a crack.
Nice. Jimmy Jan on the next episode of ListenABLE in a week. If you're listening to this on the Monday, if you're a little bit behind, just click next. He's up.
Bye.